Hello everyone, it's your favorite Demented Pink Bunny, DJ Odyssey, and I'm here again today to take the abuse for all of you because I'm a glutton for punishment, and of course I go to that piece of crap website, the Mary Sue, because I just love to rag on the stupidity of the articles they put out. So what do we have today? Well, let's go look. We have from the Mary Sue, families of victims and survivors of Aurora shooting address Joker film and ask studio to be responsible. A little story from Princess Weeks. I don't think she's a princess, and she probably is weak right in the head. She's pretty weak there, but anyway, let's get to this damn story and let's see what they're rambling about now at the Mary Sue. Warner Brothers' upcoming Joker film starring Joaquin Phoenix and directed by Todd Phillips has been getting a lot of press because of how some are afraid that the movie might incite violence due to its focus on a white male character who feels disenfranchised and transforms into an agent of chaos. Feels disenfranchised. Oh, kind of like how the left does to all white people now because we're bad and we're the only ones that you can be racist against. You say anything bad about anybody else and you're a racist, but as long as you're putting down a white person, that's fine. Yeah. And what's these people? It says, a lot of press. A lot of press? I haven't heard too much press about anybody complaining about the movie. No. And some that are afraid are probably just these little far left loons that like to cry and whine all the time about everything. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, let's get back to the story. Phoenix has been asked about this multiple times. And today, the Hollywood Reporter shared that survivors of Aurora shooting and families of the victims sent a letter to Warner Brothers about their concern. Now, how do we know that the letters come from the families themselves? Or how do we know that certain people didn't go to these people and ask them to write a letter? Because, they're so, whatever. In 2012, a shooter attacked a theater in Aurora, Colorado during a screening of The Dark Knight. And as I mentioned in another post addressing my own concerns about the Joker, well, of course, Princess, you address concerns about anything that has to do with white men. You're just a bigot yourself, so shut the hell up. Anyway, back to the story. Claims he had done this due to his dissatisfaction with life and finding work, as well as health issues. In the attack, 12 people were killed and 70 others were injured. While the letter is not calling for a boycott or for the movie to be canceled, it does ask Warner Brothers to be responsible in their advocacy. So what do they want? They're just basically stating that if something happens, Warner Brothers is supposed to take responsibility instead of the nutcase that might happen to do something? Is that what they're saying? These people always want to blame everything else but the person that does the nutcase thing. That's what pisses me off about these SJWs, these far left liberal idiots. Anyway, we are calling on you to be a part of the growing chorus of corporate leaders who understand that they have a social responsibility to keep us all safe, the letter states. No, they don't have a responsibility to keep us safe. We have our own responsibility to keep ourselves safe by watching out for these things. And if you know somebody that acts a little funny, let others know. Turn it in. Let it. Get them help. Anything else. But you don't blame the freaking corporations. All you're doing is trying to play victimhood. Just like this little Princess Weeks that wants to bring up all this crap. Anyway, Sandy Phillips, no relation to Joker director Todd Phillips, lost her daughter in the shooting and said, I don't need to see a picture of Holmes. I just need to see a Joker promo and I see a picture of the killer. Really? Really? In an interview, Sandy Phillips says that Joker, which depicts the titular character as an isolated and mentally ill anti-hero, is like a slap in the face. Well, don't go watch the movie. She adds that she's concerned about audience connecting with and emulating the character in this cultural climate where mass shootings have been commonplace. Commonplace? The only time we ever hear about a mass shooting is when it involves a white male, which is a very small percentage of all the so-called mass shootings that they tout. A big majority of the mass shootings come from freaking Chicago. But they don't talk about those because that's black on black. They can't push that narrative. They only want to make white people. Yeah. We know the whole game. We're not stupid, people. My worry is one person who may be out there and who knows if it's just one who is on the edge, who is wanting to be a mass shooter, may be encouraged by this movie. And that terrifies me. If there's a guy out there that's on the edge, it's not going to take the freaking Joker movie to send him over the edge. It's just going to take more of your whining and bitching from the left to push him over the edge. A Warner Brothers spokesperson said the studio has not yet received the letter. Oh. So Warner Brothers hasn't received the letter. But other people say they sent out the letter. Now, who do we believe? I would kind of lean on Warner Brothers' side on this one because it's a little tactic of the left to say that they're going to send out letters, to say that they're going to boycott, to get their way. And it's a small minority. I don't know why these damn corporations put up with it in the first place. They need to grow a pair. They need to grow a brass pair and tell them to go F themselves. It's just a small, tiny minority. It's the loud minority that run around on Twitter all the time, that have no other fucking jobs but to sit on Twitter complaining all fucking day. Get it through your head, people. It's a small minority. Stop letting them win. Fight back against them, push back against them, start boycotting all the crap that they like, play their little game against them. They won't like it long. And once they start losing the things they like, they're going to shut the hell up. Anyway, Phoenix was asked by the Telegraph film critic if the movie could perversely end up inspiring exactly the kind of people it's about, with potential tragic results. Phoenix was startled by the question and walked out of the interview. I would have walked out too. Said, fuck you. I'm not answering your stupid SJW bullshit. He did later answer the question in another, what the hell? They have no editors over here. Princess Weeks can't figure out how to type. Answered the question in another interview. What the fuck is that? Boy, you're a retard. Yeah, I said it. Anyway, he said, I don't think it's the responsibility of a filmmaker to teach the audience morality or the difference between right and wrong. That is correct. That is the responsibility of the parents that you have, your guardian that you have, your friends you have. You learn your morality from what you grow up around. And of course, Princess Week says, overall, I'm going to wait to see Joker to decide for myself if it treads into crafting empathy for Arthur Joker, because I think that to a degree Phoenix is right. We shouldn't look for films for teaching morality. However, we are living in a time of high feelings of disenfranchisement for young men. Now, let's just say for all white men. Come on, let your bigotry out, Princess Weeks. And there is very little media out there trying to address their anxieties without just feeding into nihilism, whatever the fuck that is. You guys can read the damn word right here. You figure it out. I'm not your translator, and I'm not that good with words, so the hell with it. Right there. Maybe Bird of Prey can figure it out for me. I know how well he does it. Grammar. Also, if we were to learn anything from the trend of school and mass shootings, sometimes it's not even done for a reason. It's done for the infamy of it all, for the chaos. But if we aren't going to actually address the issue in society, then maybe films are going to have to act it out. No, films don't need to do it. People need to do it. They need to do it on their own. They need to grow a pair and grow responsibility for themselves. And they need to quit blaming everything else on everything but the person that did it. End of story right there. Anyway, let's finish this damn article. Boy, I just love the Mary Sue. It helps me pump up the old blood pressure. Still, there's a reason this movie is getting all the attention when there are equally violent movies out there. No one's crafting a million think pieces about the latest Rambo, and that's bullshit. We've seen many hit pieces on Rambo out there too, about how it's toxic white males and it's racist. Yeah, we have seen it, Princess Week. You just don't want to admit to it because it'll add to the persona that you have, that you hate pretty much anything that has to do with males. And what could we read from that? Or even films with a hyper-violent but portray the bad guys as inhuman and therefore no worthy of empathy. So she's going at the Avengers Endgame. Even as she writes this, I'm thinking of the body count in the Avengers movie. Okay. It's called the Avengers movie. It's a fantasy movie. It's based off a comic book there, Princess Snowflake. We have been slowly numbing ourselves to violence in the media for decades, so the difference between Joker and RoboCop isn't just decades, it's a cultural mentality that are struggling with to deal with. I didn't have a problem with RoboCop either. RoboCop shot up a whole bunch of bad guys in that one. Didn't have a problem with it. I'm not a snowflake. It didn't affect me. I didn't get twittered. I didn't get have to go to a safe space. I didn't have to get all that from RoboCop. That shouldn't all be put on Joker's doorstep, but sadly it is the perfect avatar for a lot of fear and anxiety, and only because idiotics like you write these stories to make it look that way. So, bite me, Princess Weeks. That's all I can say. This has been your demented pink bunny rambling again and ranting about the Mary Sue. I'm out of here. Remember, hit the like button, share with some friends, subscribe if you haven't. Try to get some of your friends to subscribe. Get your pet dog to subscribe. Get some alpacas to just subscribe. Hey, we can start an alpaca army. Get them to subscribe. Anyway, I'm out of here.